So good afternoon everyone. Day before yesterday I have discussed one JEE advanced question of X-ray, and one of my student asked that, sir, actually I don't understood the questions actually, as well as I don't have the idea of the X-ray. So I'm just going to discuss about this X-ray in detail. So guys, first of all, you know that there is an electromagnetic spectrum. So in this electromagnetic spectrum, first comes gamma ray, then X-ray, then ultraviolet ray, I'm writing in U, and visible ray, infrared ray, microwave, and radio wave. So this is electromagnetic spectrum which I have drawn here. This is electromagnetic spectrum, magnetic spectrum which I have drawn here. This gamma ray actually is radio, we can obtain from radioactive decay of nucleus. X-ray we are going to discuss in detail today, and then in this electromagnetic spectrum, as you move from left to right, from here to here, wavelength increases. Wavelength increases, that means if you move from here to here, frequency increases. So one question in NEET they have asked which of the following ray has maximum frequency. Maximum frequency is for gamma ray, and minimum wavelength same for gamma ray. Now guys, what X-ray? X-ray has frequency higher than ultraviolet, visible, infrared, microwave, radio wave. I'm writing because most of the student will not interpret. This is gamma ray, this is gamma ray, this is X-ray. U means ultraviolet, ultraviolet, ultraviolet. I means infrared, M means microwave, and R means radio waves. So I have not written V, that means visible ray. V is visible ray. So basically our eye is sensitive to only for visible ray. Eye is sensitive only for this visible ray, but skin is sensitive for infrared ray. Skin is sensitive for infrared rays, but apart from this infrared and visible ray, we don't have any sense of this X-ray, gamma ray, microwave, radio wave. We cannot feel these all ray, means X-ray, gamma ray, microwave, radio wave, ultraviolet, we cannot feel it. So guys, actually today we are going to discuss X-ray in detail. One thing I would like to tell you about that, since X-ray has frequency which is higher than these all ray, so E, you know that E is equal to H nu. Nu is frequency of radiation, nu is frequency. So since nu is higher for X-ray, energy will be high. So X-ray is highly energetic electron. Energy is very high for X-ray. For X-ray, so X-ray is actually energetic, you can say that highly energetic electromagnetic wave this X-ray is. So now we are going to discuss all the things about this X-ray wave. If I am talking about wavelength of X-ray lies between 0.1 angstrom to 100 angstrom. This wavelength you have to keep in mind, and then we are going to start this X-ray in detail. Okay, so X-ray, it was discovered by W.C. Rogen. W.C. Rogen, I have written here. Don't read as Rontgen. This is W.C. Rogen in 1895. So at the end of 18th century, means when 90s, so X-ray is discovered in the 19th century almost, you can say that. So W.C. Rogen discovered X-ray. So I already told you that X-ray has higher frequency than ultraviolet, microwave, visible. So when highly energetic electron are made to strike a metal target, when highly energetic electrons are made to strike a metal target, electromagnetic radiation comes out. A large part of this radiation has a wavelength of order 0.01 angstrom to 100 angstrom, and this ray is known as X-ray. Since guys, when X-ray was discovered, people has no idea what about this ray is. So in mathematics, when we have any unknown quantity, we name it X, and that is why the name X-ray is kept, because we don't have most of the idea when it was discovered. But nowadays it has a lot of application in the field of medical and in industrial application also. So due to high energy, X-ray have high penetration depth. This is most important point which you have to keep in mind, because energetic rays these are, so it has high penetration depth for physical substance compared to other electromagnetic radiation like ultraviolet, infrared, etc. Because I told you that electromagnetic spectrum, so you can understand these things like that. Due to high energy, X-ray have high penetration depth for physical substances compared to other electromagnetic radiations like this. It is not deflected in presence of electric and magnetic field. Why guys? It is electromagnetic wave actually. From Planck's equation, you know that actually X-ray, Planck say that it is a form of photons. So photons basically guys, I can say that it is energy less particle. Photon has no energy at all, because almost it is assumed to be massless, so it has not energy at all. So if it has not energy, how it can be deflected by electric and magnetic field? So it cannot be deflected in presence of electric and magnetic field. It can be produced by breaking of high energy electron of cathode ray. What is breaking of high energetic electron? I will tell you. Suppose guys, what will happen if electron is accelerated to some potential, let it be eV. So the range of energy is from 0 to eV. So lambda, you can say that hc by eV, or lambda is equal to hc by 0. So you can say that it corresponding to 0 energy breaking, lambda is infinity, and corresponding to this is minimum or cutoff wavelength, so this is lambda. So we will see this spectrum when I will tell you the graph. So this will be the spectrum like this, you will see, and this I will discuss when I will discuss the graph. So this is actually cutoff wavelength, which is hc by eV, and this is actually up to go to infinity. So this I will discuss, but that is why I have written here, it can be produced by breaking of highly energetic electron of cathode ray. This X-ray can be divided into several types, but I'm taking some basis like what graph I have drawn earlier. On the basis of that graph, we can divide X-ray as continuous and characteristics. But on the basis of energy and penetration depth, X-ray can be divided into two groups: soft X-ray and hard X-ray. So what is soft X-ray? If lambda is greater than 10 angstrom, I told you na, lambda lies between 0.01 to 100 angstrom. So if lambda is greater than 10 angstrom, this is a relatively low energy, because you know that energy is equal to hc by lambda. If lambda is more, energy is less, and these rays are known as soft X-ray. So on the basis of energy, if energy is relatively low, we can categorize it as soft X-ray. On the basis of energy, we can say that is penetration depth, we can govern it. So hard X-ray, when lambda is less than 1 angstrom, they are relatively high energy, and these X-ray can be characterized as hard X-ray. Now how X-ray can be produced? X-ray are produced in a discharge tube called Coolidge tube, that I have already discussed in day before last class, but that is for numerical purpose. But today we are going to discuss how this Coolidge tube is used to produce X-ray. So X-ray are produced in a discharge tube called Cooley's tube, which is operated at high potential difference. We will see that how this potential difference can be created between the cathode and anode. In this tube, cathode and anode present cathode source of fast moving electron. Actually, this cathode being heated to produce fast moving electron. So I can say that cathode is a source of cathode ray or fast moving electron, and anode is a source of X-ray. Anode is a source of X-ray production. So actually guys, this is your Cooley's tube, this which I am making through this underlining, this is your Cooley's tube. So in Cooley's tube, I'm just dividing this into two parts. Suppose this part, if you are taking this part, this is your cathode, and this part is anode or target metal. So cathode has a filament. This is a glass, this is chamber made up of glass. This is a glass chamber. So cathode actually has a filament which is being heated, and when this filament is being heated, so it produces electrons. At the beginning, electrons don't have enough speed or enough acceleration, enough velocity, but what happens when what we have done here, we have connected this anode to positive terminal of the battery and cathode to the negative terminal of the battery, so that a potential difference is being created between cathode and anode. And you know that electric field is always from positive terminal to negative terminal. So I can draw the direction of electric field. This is the direction of electric field, guys. See very carefully, because I have not drawn the direction of electric field. So this is the direction of electric field which is being generated by adding battery to this cathode and anode terminal. So you know that if electric field is this direction, electric field will apply force on electron in opposite direction, because this we have discussed in electrostatics. Whenever we have electric field apply force on positive charge in the same direction, and electric field apply force on electron in opposite direction. So it will apply force on electron, and this force actually accelerates this electron, and this accelerated electron when hits the metal target, so two things will happen. Actually, when this high energetic electron hits the metal target, they lose their energy and some photons is emitted, and this photon is collected through this mica window. This is your X-ray, which is known as continuous X-ray. So this fast moving electron can responsible to produce X-ray, which is continuous X-ray, as well as characteristics X-ray. How they will produce characteristics X-ray? Suppose this highly energetic electron, they don't actually dissipate their energy here. They enters to the metal at the inner shell, and they knocks out the inner shell electron outside. So what will happen? Suppose it knocks out one k electron from k cell. So there is a vacancy created at k cell. If this vacancy is filled by L cell, so this is actually K alpha, which is also known as characteristics X-ray. So this highly energetic electron, they when strike to metal target, they lose some of energy and radiates photons. This photon is known as continuous X-ray. But when they enters to the inner shell of the metal and knocks out the electron from the inner shell, this vacancy which it has created is filled by the subsequent cell or a next cell. So this type of X-ray which is produced is known as characteristics X-ray. So this continuous and characteristics X-ray are produced like this. Now we have seen this intensity versus lambda, or photocurrent versus this lambda also graph, you can say that. So this you can say that this is for lambda minimum. As I told that lambda is equal to hc by ev. So when electron will lose maximum energy, the wavelength corresponding to that is lambda minimum, which is actually hc by ev. And when electron will not lose any energy, the electron and lambda corresponding to that is infinity. So that is the graph you are seeing. In this graph you are seeing two portion. One portion is like this is continuous x-ray, this is continuous x-ray, and you are seeing two peaks, which is characteristics x-ray. So continuous and characteristics x-ray can be obtained when this highly energetic electron strike the metal target. When they lose some energy and radiate in form of photons, these electrons are, this x-ray are known as continuous x-ray. When it enters and penetrate the inner cell, they will produce characteristics x-ray. So I have written continuous x-ray when accelerated electron in vacuum tube strikes the anode. When this electron strikes the anode, this is anode, which is metal target also, anode, it is further accelerated due to strong electric field of nucleus in anode, then kinetic energy of electron is radiated as continuous x-ray. So when this electron strikes the metal target, this radiates, it radiates energy in form of continuous x-ray. It radiates photon in form of continuous x-ray. When highly energetic electron strike any of the orbiting electron of the anode atom, it knocks out these electron, and due to vacancy created, it results in emission of a line spectrum of this element. Suppose the highly energetic electron strikes to the innermost cell of this is K cell, this is L cell, this is M cell, innermost electron, and knock it out. So it knock it out here. So when this electron is knocked out, so vacancy is created here. This vacancy may be filled by this vacancy. I can say that I should draw this arrow like this. This ejected one electron outside, so the vacancy is created here. This vacancy is either filled by L cell or M cell. When this is filled by L cell, this is known as K alpha. When it is filled by M cell, this is known as K beta. Similarly, you can define L alpha, L beta like that. Suppose if it knocks out this electron and this vacancy is filled by this, so this is L cell, so this is L alpha, similarly L beta, and so on. One most important point you have to keep in mind, this continuous X-ray, which is the question of JEE previous year, this continuous X-ray depends upon this potential difference, how much you are applying across this anode and cathode. So this continuous X-ray depends upon the accelerating potential, which is the potential which is responsible to accelerating electron. This characteristics X-ray has nothing to do with this potential difference. This characteristics wavelength has nothing to do with this potential difference. This depends on the metal target only. Then if we replace this metal by another metal, this characteristics wavelength will change, characteristics X-ray will change. So continuous and characteristics X-ray you have to keep in mind. In continuous X-ray, it depends upon accelerating potential, because you know that lambda by EV is lambda minimum is equal to hc by EV, and that is why I solved that question of JEE Advanced. When potential is doubled, lambda minimum of continuous wavelength actually reduces to half. But this characteristics X-ray is independent of the potential, so it remains same. So A option, if you see the last class lecture day before yesterday lecture, you will see that characteristics X-ray has nothing to change, but this has reduced to half. Now guys, I have just written the same thing I have said there. Energy actually, minimum energy actually electron can lose when they strike the metal target is 0 to EV. This is maximum. Actually when electron is here, they possess potential energy EV. And as they move forward, this potential energy is converted into kinetic energy, which can be written as hc by lambda. So from here you can calculate lambda is equal to hc by E. So I have written here, when energy it will radiate 0 So lambda is infinity. That is why in characteristics X-ray you are seeing this curve like this infinity. When it is EV, you say that lambda minimum this point of the starting point of the graph. So if V is increased, lambda minimum decreases, it will shift towards left. So what will happen, guys? They can ask you the question, if in this graph V is increased, if V is increased, so lambda minimum will shift to the left like this, and this they may shift to the origin like this. So if that's why I have written here, if V is increased, lambda minimum will shift towards left. Characteristics X-ray, it depends upon target metal. As I said earlier, it depends upon target metal. It does not depend upon potential difference. That is very important point, keep in mind. It does not depend upon potential. Fast moving electron knocks out the inner electrons. So what K alpha can be written as, guys? I told you K alpha means if you knock out the electron from K cell, the vacancy will be created from K cell, and this can be filled by L cell. So I have written that K alpha is nothing but Hc by delta Ek. What is delta Ek? Energy of K level minus energy of L. So that is H. This is K alpha. If you have to calculate characteristics of X-ray corresponding to alpha, so that can be written as Hc by energy of K shell minus energy of L cell. Similarly, K beta, if you have to find out, energy of K cell minus energy of M cell. L alpha, if you have to find, Hc by energy of L cell minus energy of M cell. Similarly, you can write anything like this, guys. So today I am stopping here only, and in some other classes I will discuss Mosley's law and all the things. So thank you everyone.